So this is the 10:30 a.m. Thursday, April 4th briefing. My name is Jason Runyon. I'm a lead forecaster with the National Weather Service Austin San Antonio Forecast Office. Some updates if you were with us over the previous webinars that we gave the past previous days. The confidence is pretty high in what's going to take place with the weather pattern over the weekend. As far as the cloud and rain chances on Eclipse Day, we still have a medium confidence level, and the forecast is still subject to change. We'll get into the specifics on that here in a later. And we have some potential egress issues in the form of storms Tuesday and Wednesday that we'll talk about towards the end of the briefing. So just to kind of recap again the schedule of the Eclipse briefings, we're conducting daily briefings at 10:30 a.m. all the way through Sunday. Beginning tomorrow, we will also have a 2:30 p.m. briefing, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then on Eclipse Day, we will have a final weather briefing at 9 a.m. So the main weather headlines, the main weather points that we kind of want to stress in this briefing. We do have a high confidence in the forecast over the weekend. For the most part, it should be precipitation free with the exception of some isolated storms and showers along a weak cold front late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. We're calling for about a 10 to 30% chance of precipitation. As I mentioned, we have a medium confidence in the forecast for the Eclipse Day on Monday, with uncertainty and details on two main features that are going to influence exactly where the cloud cover is, exactly how thick the cloud cover is, and where rain chances set up. We should continue to stress that the forecast, even out at 4 days, are very difficult to predict, especially with respect to sky cover and sky cover over a window of only a few hours. So expect additional fluctuations in our cloud cover forecast over the next few days. And as I mentioned on the opening slide, we do have the potential for some egress issues on Tuesday and Wednesday with some storms, and that confidence is currently at a low level. And finally, as we've been mentioning, this is springtime, this is April. We know that the forecast can change pretty quickly over the springtime, so we'll continue to fine tune as best as we can the forecast with respect to timing of rain and storm chances, as well as the cloud cover forecast for the Eclipse Day. So let's start off with a look at the fronts, the cold fronts over the next few days and the weather pattern over the next few days. We'll start with Saturday. We've been in this kind of dry, clear pattern the last few days, including today. You're going to notice a pattern shift late Friday night into Saturday morning, where the clouds come back and the humidity return. And we may even get some patchy drizzle that develops through the morning hours on Monday. Temperatures on Monday should be rather warm. We'll see high temperatures out along the Rio Grande in the low 90s and upper 70s to mid 80s elsewhere. As I mentioned, we're watching a weak cold front that's expected to move into the region Saturday night and clear east of the I-35 corridor early Sunday morning. We're currently calling for about a 10 to 30% chance of some showers and isolated non-severe thunderstorms late Saturday evening into early Sunday morning, mainly across the hill country, I-35 corridor, and coastal plains. As we move into Sunday, that weak cold front should clear east of the I-35 corridor, stalling somewhere across the inland coastal plains. It's a rather weak cold front, so it won't push all the way out into the Gulf of Mexico. But what will happen is we will temporarily see some drier air that moves into the hill country and I-35 corridor during the day on Sunday. So we'll actually see the low clouds kind of scatter out and some lower humidity across the region for the day on Sunday. High temperatures look to be in the mid to upper 80s on Sunday. So the big question is, what's going to be the weather on Eclipse Day? As I mentioned, that front is pretty weak, and the pattern is going to shift back and bring the front back as a warm front into the region sometime late Sunday night and through the day on Monday. As that warm front lifts back north into the region, we'll see a return of low cloud cover and potentially some low chances for some shower activity and isolated thunderstorms. How quickly and widespread that cloud cover gets is uncertain at this time, so we'll continue to fine tune that forecast. We do expect the low clouds to come in eventually. They come in faster and don't scatter out through the afternoon, then the eclipse viewability would be low across the region. So we'll continue again to kind of watch these trends in the models over the coming days and fine tune that forecast. And the second feature that's going to impact the cloud cover forecast for Eclipse Day is the upper level pattern. And we're highly confident in this with an upper level trough developing over the southwest US, and that typically brings in high level moisture into Texas and the southern half of Texas, southern and eastern half of Texas, in the form of cirrus clouds. So we'll see those high clouds moving through the region through the weekend and into Monday. The big question is how translucent the high clouds will be. How much sun will you be able to see through these high clouds? Thinner high clouds and scattering out of low clouds in the afternoon would allow for some filtered viewability of the eclipse, but thicker high clouds would result in poorer viewability. So that's the big question, is how thick will these high clouds be? And I wanted to include an example of what it would actually look like based on these different scenarios that we're talking about. On the left there would be an example of what would be thinner high clouds, translucent high clouds with a break in the low clouds, not as much low clouds. It would still be mostly cloudy, but some low viewability in the eclipse. If a scenario in the middle or the right were to take place, we would have thicker high clouds, or the low clouds come in and they don't scatter out, then the viewability of the eclipse will be poor across the region. So it's going to be one of these three scenarios that you see here. And then finally, I mentioned the egress issues as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. The pattern shapes up for a more active weather scenario as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. The next upper level storm system and cold front approaches. We do have a chance for showers and storms in the forecast Tuesday and Wednesday. There is the potential for some severe storms northeast of our region late Monday evening into Monday night, and then into portions of our area on Tuesday. But the timing of all this is kind of uncertain at this time, so the confidence level is low. Our Storm Prediction Center has already outlooked a portion of our forecast area for severe storms on the day on Tuesday. And this could extend farther south in future updates. So we'll be watching this over the next few days. So let's concentrate just on the eclipse day and talk about rain chances and temperatures and the cloud cover again. Here's our chance of rain for eclipse day. We're calling for about a 10 to 30% chance of mainly light amounts of precipitation. Again, the timing of all this is kind of uncertain on that cloud cover and when the rain chances come back into the region. If you do get any rainfall during the day on Monday, it would be rather light, just a few hundredths of an inch. As far as temperatures go, on the left there is our low forecast temperature for April 8th, Monday, April 8th. Generally forecasting lows in the mid 50s to low 60s. And on the right are our high temperatures forecast. That should say high temperature, not low temperature. So our high temperature forecast on April 8th. And we're generally forecasting highs in the low to mid 80s. I should point out that if skies remain cloudy the whole time, the temperature forecast may be a few degrees off with respect to low and high temperatures. Our low temperatures could actually be a few degrees warmer, and our high temperatures a few degrees cooler than what are shown here. And finally, our forecast scenarios as far as percent of sky cover that we will see. On the left there is our most likely scenario, showing kind of mostly cloudy conditions. I showed those three examples there on the previous slide. And on the right there would be the worst case scenario of just totally socked in with low and high clouds and just overcast conditions. Some additional fluctuations in the cloud cover forecast are possible, so just stay tuned to these webinars over the next few days. A little bit wider view of the eclipse path and the chance of favorable eclipse viewing conditions. We're still forecasting a low chance for favorable eclipse viewing conditions across south central Texas. But as you head much farther northeast, the conditions are a little bit better into that medium category. Finally, I just want to summarize here with some resources that are available. We've been pointing these out the past few days in our webinars. If you want to look at hourly forecast out to 7 days, anywhere across the US, you can go to weather.gov/forecast points. Just note that when you first go to that web page, the point will be centered over Duluth, Minnesota, so you'll have to zoom in on your area and click again on the map of the location that you want that forecast for. We do have some QR codes set up for specific cities in our region in the eclipse path. Here are our western areas. Here are our hill country areas, and we have them set up for our I-35 corridor areas. In the PDF slides that we send out, all these QR codes will be in that slide deck. And finally, As far as radar and satellite resources, we do have some QR codes for satellite and radar pages that you can stay situationally aware with on the day of the eclipse. And again, this slide will also be in that PDF deck. So to kind of summarize, again, forecasting about a 10 to 30% chance of showers and isolated storms late Saturday night into early Sunday morning with that weak cold front. That front is forecast to stall across the inland coastal plains, then lift back north into our region sometime late Sunday night or Monday. So we'll see a return of mostly cloudy conditions on Monday, along with a low chance for some showers and possibly isolated thunderstorms. There's still some uncertainty with the low cloud coverage and how translucent the high clouds will be, so expect some additional fluctuations in the cloud cover forecast over the next few days. And then again, we'll be watching over the next several forecast cycles of the potential for severe storms as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday for any egress issues that may be going on. So our current confidence levels, again, for the weekend forecast, the forecast confidence level is pretty high. We're pretty certain with what's going to happen tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Have a medium confidence level on the cloud cover and precipitation chances on Eclipse Day, and then a low confidence level currently for the severe storm chances on Tuesday. Our next scheduled briefing will be 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, April 5th, and we'll also have a 2:30 p.m. briefing tomorrow, Friday, April 5th.